Unlocking Marital Bliss.
Hey, you're so much welcome to Unlocking Marital Bliss with me, Cyrus Rod. It's always a pleasure to have you tuned into UBC. This is the place that you ought to be. Over here, we talk about our keys that can unlock bliss in your marriage. The last time we were here, we actually had a beautiful couple that has overcome. At one time, they were bitten with alcohol. The man became an alcoholic, and the marriage almost went down to the grave. But this lady stood her ground. She went through it all, and she was able to overcome. And this time we're going to do a part 2 to this particular story. Because of our viewers, there's so much demand. They had a lot of response saying, please, we need to hear more of what took place. We need to hear more of what took place. Well, we're talking about being married to an alcoholic. You get it? Because this was a young girl married to an alcoholic. And in fact, the guy wasn't even an alcoholic. Just things turned around and boom, he lost it. And the good thing is they overcame. And before we proceed, we're going to find out actually they overcame. And you remember how we did that. They were able to overcome. So now we're going to find out how they did the overcoming and what alcohol can do to you. And before I actually invite them in, I want to read something for you from the Word of God. He says in Proverbs 23, he says, who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those who tarry long over wine, those who go to try mixed wine. Do not look at wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup. Do not look at it and goes down smoothly. In the end, it bites like a serpent and stings like an adder. Your eyes will see strange things. You know what alcohol does to you? Your eyes will see strange things. And your heart utter perverse things. You will be like one who lies down in the midst of the sea, like one who lies on the top of a mast. They struck me, you will say, but I was not hurt. They beat me, but I did not feel it. When shall I awake? I must have another drink. Really? That is total danger. I want you to meditate upon that, and we'll be right back.
Is drinking bad?
In my own opinion, it is very bad. I went to school with guys who are drunkards now, and they don't show anything. They don't have a sense of responsibility. They are as good as useless. So I grew up knowing that alcohol is evil. So whoever is part of alcohol is actually practicing evil.
Well, alcohol is good for your diet. Well regulated, it is good for your diet. But it has so many disadvantages. For example, it can lead to broken marriages. People will not be able to tolerate you. You become less productive.
Once you get drunk, you will never have a sense of understanding. Once you get drunk, you never reason on your own. Once you get drunk, you become excited. You become a public nuisance.
It's really hard to get along with them. Have weird characters. Sometimes they do things when in the influence of alcohol, until it gets so hard to get along with such people.
I had a friend. His name was Sam. Whenever he could come back from the work, he used to come home and we could jazz what. But later on, he started what? He started boozing. He could take alcohol, eat marijuana, smoke weed, such things. But later it affected him. He ran mad. We tried to catch him and take him to Butabika, but later on he escaped. And right now we don't know where he is.
Love that person so much, because it's not that they want to be drunkards. It's not that they want to be addicts, but you just have to love them so much. You not begin by condemning them. The challenge we have is people point fingers, people condemn them. At the end of the day, someone feels they're left out.
If your child or your daughter or your son see you boozing, Don't think that he won't booze. He'll say that, no, my dad booze. My dad takes alcohol. My mom takes alcohol. Why don't I take alcohol? Let me also take alcohol. And they want to know the bad thing in alcohol.
If you feel you cannot, do away with alcohol, I think it's better that you do what we call responsible drinking. If you take alcohol, then it should be in a designated place. And if you know that, for example, you have a spouse, you are in a relationship, ensure that when you come home, you try to diffuse all the consequences of the alcohol you've taken. Because there is no reason why you should take alcohol and then you come when you are smelling, maybe you've urinated on yourself, and every other thing.
We have lost the youth through drugs and alcohol. We've even lost fathers. They have lost responsibility because they are drunkards. A father would leave home without leaving money at home, then he goes to work, leaves work, goes to a bar, and spends all the money he has worked for in that day.
Welcome back to Unlocking Marital Bliss with Miss Iris Rod, and tonight I have our wonderful guests. I had them the other time and we have them back due to public demand, and of course they have a big story that had not yet been fully covered and fully told. That's why we brought them back. And tonight I can boldly say that yes, some of you may be married to somebody struggling with alcohol and you don't know exactly what you're gonna do. Is alcohol this serious? Can it be this big? Oh yeah, it sure can be this serious. We're gonna find out. It's a moment of learning and even being able to see how they gained their bliss back in their marriage. I'm going to ask the questions that you have posted. Many of you have brought in the questions, and I'm going to be asking these questions. And yes, we're going to build from there and see how you can have bliss in your marriage too and take alcohol out. What did you say? That's what I said. Take alcohol out and bring bliss in your marriage. You can't have the two and then you maintain the bliss. You can't have it. Thank you so much for joining me once again, Bill.
Thank you, Cyrus, for inviting me.
It's always a pleasure to have you. Last time you did so good. People are saying you got to bring those people back. That story never ended. And glad you're back. And who is she again? I don't know her.
That's my wife.
It's your wife?
Yes.
How long have you been married?
We got married in 2009. That's 10 years today.
10 years.
We celebrated our 10th year anniversary in June.
Yeah.
June the 13th.
June the 13th.
Yes.
10 years.
10 years.
And you started your story already, okay?
Yes.
So of the 10 years, which were the worst years? I go to Rachel. That's when Bill had lost it.
Yeah, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth year.
The third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Yeah.
That is 4 years.
Yes.
And Bill had lost it.
Yes.
You almost never had a husband at home.
Yes. Yes.
Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Sixth. Yes.
How did that? Because there's been many questions the people have brought in. People are wondering, what kind of woman is Rachel? Where do you come from? Are you Ugandan? Are you normal? Because the kind of stuff, a lot of guys are thinking, how could you put up with Bill?
I know. I made vows. Usually we forget the vows that we make, and we always think it will. We say that in the good times and in the bad times, and
Yes.
we tend to kind of silence the bad times, and we want only the good times.
But you
But
made
there are
your
bad
vows.
times. Yes, I made my vows,
And you made them to God.
and we make them to God with witnesses. So stuck to my vows.
Man, you make them to God and you have to really put your foot down.
Yes.
And you say, I'm going to keep my bill. This is my gift from God.
Amen.
I'm going to keep my gift.
Yes. In whichever
Man,
package.
congratulations. You really have set the bar high. And that is what every married couple ought to do.
Yeah, that's what they need to
You
do.
keep the vows.
You keep the
You
vows.
made them not to jump out.
Yes.
But to stay in there.
It's not all about the wedding and all that. Those vows you make in church or whichever place you are.
Yeah.
Those vows.
Those
It is
vows.
you and God.
Yes.
Yes.
You and God.
You and God. You're making them to God.
In fact, you are able to prove what faithfulness is.
Yes.
Because anybody can be faithful when things are going good, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Really good. Very good.
But when things are not going your way,
You're like, I can't handle this.
I can't handle this, I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah.
And you stood your ground.
Yeah, I stood my ground.
Now, there's a question somebody brought up here, and I'm going to ask it before we really can proceed.
Yes.
One, because there are quite a couple of them, or quite a number of them.
Yes.
How were they even able to communicate? I mean, talk honestly. Be vulnerable. Did you ever communicate during the time that you were with Bill and Bill had lost it? Did you have some meaningful communication with Bill?
We really didn't have any communication. First of all, I had no words to say. Because I kept on wondering, but you really know what you're doing, right? And I'm like, you're an adult. So you can tell what is right and what is wrong. Really,
Then
now.
why do you keep on doing?
Yes. So really, you're supposed to know that this is wrong and this is right. So really, put yourself together. I'm not here
To baby you.
to baby you. So put your life in check, because we really didn't have time to talk. First of all, I'm angry,
Yeah.
and second of all, he's drunk. So what exactly are you going to tell a drunkard? And tomorrow you'll ask, what did you say? And he has no idea
He has
what
no
you say.
idea what you say.
Yes. And when he's sober, he's also trying to fight his demons. Now you're asking him. So really, we didn't have time to
It was a
really-
total mess.
It was a mess.
When he's drunk, you can't talk to him because he's out of his mind.
Yes.
And then when he's sober, Bill, what was going on? I mean, when you're drunk and then when you're sober, what kind of communication? She says you had no communication.
Yeah.
Why?
Communication is not there because, of course, the mind is compromised at the time of intoxication.
Okay.
Therefore, nothing meaningful can come out of that conversation. There is no action plan, there is no thought process, there is no remorse, there is nothing.
Yeah.
That is one.
No repentance.
So, yes, because I mean, your mind is compromised.
Yes.
You are temporarily insane, if you may call it that.
Yes.
Now, when you come out of it, you're in the withdrawal stage. You're sick and you're sad.
Is that the hangover stuff?
Yeah, withdrawal, hangover.
Okay.
The body is sick because the liver was busy trying to take out the alcohol while the natural poisons are poisoning the body. So you come out when the poisons you usually have on a daily are actually poisoning you where the alcohol has been chased out. So you fall sick, and then how does anyone feel when they are sick? For starters, you're down. Your state of your mental state is also depressed. Alcohol is a depressant. Yeah.
Okay.
So you know you're in a state of confusion, and you also do not know what you did. Not everything. Even the little that you did that you remember is not pleasant. Remorse. Basically, you are lying there in self-pity, in fear, wondering what is wrong with me as well. Because I used to wonder, what is wrong with me? How come I don't know how to stop this which is destroying me? How come even what I know I can't use, I am out of control? So I did not want to be in anybody's presence, not just hers, anybody's. I just didn't want you to ask me anything or tell me anything. I wanted to like throw it away, throw it back. So how would I do that best? I would use either intimidation or simply walking away.
Walk away.
Yeah.
So the time when you wanted to talk to him, you think he's sober, and that's the time he's trying to run away.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the time when my defenses are up. As I'm ready to defend myself and my actions.
You're ready to defend yourself whatever it takes.
Yes.
Because what happens, you feel like when you become vulnerable, then you'll be destroyed.
When you put it that way, yes. The thing is that you're also confused. You do not know what is wrong with you. that is a moment whereby an intervention needs to take place.
Yes.
Now, if somebody who is with you understands this, and they understand that that is a moment where I can use my manipulation to get you to do what I want or to respond the way I want. For instance,
God.
I did not want anything about me discussed with others. These are business. That
And
is
you-
manipulation. Why are you taking it out? Because I know if you take it out, people are going to probably come
Get to you.
Uh-huh.
So the best way you do it is to intimidate.
Yeah, intimidate,
Manipulate them
lie,
through
or
intimidation.
even use pity. I get you to feel sorry for me, and I promise heaven
And
and
how will
earth
you
I'll
do?
never do it again, and I cry, and you have
So
put
you
me
would
in a
go and
miserable
cry
state.
before Rachel.
Oh, I think I did cry, didn't I?
And
Not
Rachel, what
once,
were you
not
thinking
twice.
at that point? Now you have this big dude over here. He's bigger than you, and he's on his knees. "Oh, Rachel, Rachel." Well, what's going on in your mind?
During that time when he's telling you heaven on earth, now the other one goes, you're like, okay, everything will be okay.
Yeah. So you get a little moment of hope.
Of hope, yes. Yeah.
Everything's gonna be okay. He's sober now.
yeah,
Yeah,
gets
finally
better.
he's repentant.
Yeah.
He's remorseful.
So he's getting better.
He's getting better.
And that evening he'll go.
Oh, Rachel. And you had this conversation in the morning, and by evening he's back to square one.
Back to square one, yeah.
And what goes through your mind?
You just talk to yourself,
None.
we are back to it. So you start counting days now. When is he coming back?
Rachel, you're a woman, and God bless you. You're a woman.
Amen, amen.
You know, because many of those watching you right now are thinking, maybe you're not from earth, maybe there's something, you're putting on a show, maybe this never happened.
Yes.
Huh?
It did happen. People know our story.
Ask my mother.
Yes.
You see, the thing is this, it happens. Many people look at this and they understand it
Yes.
because it is happening in their homes.
Yes.
They just don't want to talk about it because they think nobody else is suffering the same. And everybody thinks that what is happening in my house is the worst.
Oh,
So because when I came out to talk about my misdeeds or the things that happened
Yes.
to me or what was happening to me, that is when some people started identifying with what is happening and saying, oh, it's not only in my house.
yeah.
It's not only me. It's not only my loved one. And therefore, people started
Coming
seeking
out
solutions.
to find a
Why do
solution.
people take interest? Because they can identify. There is nothing that I did that is unique to me. The crying, the lies, the manipulation,
It's
waking
everywhere.
up and your bed is wet and you think someone poured water on you.
Huh?
I say it this way so that the kids don't
I
get
know.
confused. Anyhow, but what I'm saying is that they see these things,
They realize I'm not alone.
but now they see, oh, it actually happens to others. And therefore, there is something I can do about it. And that's why we are here, to start finding the solutions. What's the way forward?
What's the way forward? So, because one can be able to identify with somebody who overcame,
Yes,
and then they're able to relate
yes.
and begin trying to find a solution. How did Bill overcome? How did Bill make this? And that's a big solution.
Yes, and not only how did Bill, you see, Bill is not alone. We are talking about marriage.
Yes.
The person who is affected most is the person that is closest to you.
Now, you know, I saw something before we came on set, and the way alcohol affects people,
Yes.
and how it affected your marriage, and how she was affected in a very, very horrible way. And the statistics show that alcohol actually affects you as a person up to about 73%.
It's like this: harm that drugs do to self,
Harms that drugs do.
and to others. So there is what drugs do to others, and there are different classifications of drugs. Yes.
Okay.
Now, in the chart showing, there are the names of the drugs from
Yes.
the most dangerous, the most harmful, which is alcohol, and the least harmful, which are mushrooms.
The most harmful is alcohol.
Yes.
Not heroin.
No. Alcohol.
Not cocaine.
No.
Marijuana.
No. Alcohol has more harm to others by about 70 points, and then it is followed, the harm to others, by heroin, which has got up to 52 points. And then
That's a
harm to
huge
self,
difference.
yes, it is a huge difference. And then harm to self by about 55 or so points, followed by heroin, crack cocaine, which is at 22 points. Number one is, the most important thing is that alcohol harm to others and to self
Yeah.
is worse than heroin, is worse than crack cocaine, is worse than methamphetamine, is worse than all the opioids, it is worse than smoking, it is worse than using any drug you can think of on this earth. And it is the most complex of all the drugs to treat. Why is it the most complex? Because it takes a longer time to manifest. Secondly,
The side effects take
Yes.
longer to manifest.
Secondly, it is socially acceptable. It is a general purpose. We say, if I want the party to be better, why do I have to entertain you when I can just give you a drink? That's my interpretation.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So I give you a drink and you literally entertain yourself.
You're entertaining yourself. I like the way you put it. So that is how, that's what it is. So alcohol being socially acceptable, there is something very strange about it. Its legal status.
Yeah.
Yes, why
And
is
yet it's worse than marijuana.
yes, than all of them.
Than all these other drugs.
Let's use cocaine in this case. 'Cause
Cocaine.
people fear cocaine.
Yes.
Now, how can it be a substance which is both legal and illegal?
That's a good question.
When you turn 18 or 21, that is also another confusion, which means that it is politically aligned to a decision. There is a political inclination in it.
Yes.
Let me put it that way.
Yes.
Because one country has the limit at 21, another one at 18, another one at 13 or 14. Another one, they want it to go to 25. Actually, these days, because of research, they're trying to put it up. It is illegal
Why? Because they're noticing that
yes,
it's dangerous.
the truth comes out slowly. Right now, it's being suppressed, but it's coming out.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? People like me are talking, not only here in Uganda,
Yeah.
around the world.
Yeah.
Concern. We have got alcohol alliances. We have got evidence-based information and practices to prevent. You see, and to sort it out. So policies are being. We are trying to get policies into countries so that we can actually sort these things out. Anyhow, let me keep it simple and keep to the to what we are talking about. It is illegal because it is toxic. It is illegal because it is poisonous. It is illegal because it has got a bad effect on a person. And the problem with the psychoactive substance is that its effects are immediate. All I need to do is get drunk once and I get an accident. Once. It could even be my first time.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
So when it comes to the harm, the comparison between what they call benefits
Yeah.
and what it actually does, they are outweighed. I usually give it 100 to 0. Okay.
That's
5.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now, we are seeing this
Then
problem.
Legal.
Now it is legal for someone as long as you reach 21. Why? Because they have pushed it to be a moral problem. You are of age. Why can't you handle your liquor?
And yet it is not actually a moral
It
problem
has nothing to do with the morals. It has everything to do with the drink.
with the drink.
I like taking people back.
Yes.
When I started drinking, I did not intend to
To
be
become
talking
a
about
nuisance.
this today.
You never had dreams of having a bad marriage.
I thought I would be like those guys I watch in the movies, slick, pouring I don't know which brand, the one which walks or something, you know, in a glass when I'm
Yeah.
stressed and I take a sip and then I show off, you know,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Like it makes you feel cool.
Yeah, like I would be lighting up and, you know, like the lies.
Yes.
Because advertising has actually pushed us to a different level of thinking.
Yes.
That's what I thought. But the person who is me, let's go to when I was drinking and messing up. And let's go to now when I'm not. It's still the same person.
Yes.
Exactly the same. Same brain, they did not transfer someone and put it in me. There is no blood transfusion.
Yes.
There is no other part of another human being that's within me to change me.
Yes.
If there is any such thing anyway. It is the same person off the drink, but now productive. That should be a statement.
But now
If I put
productive.
in the alcohol now, I can assure you, she can tell you that if you want the, or you scroll back, rewind, get back to the last episode, and you hear exactly what was happening. It is the alcohol, not the people who drink it. And so what we are fighting for is for people to understand.
So you've said it so good. It is the alcohol
Yes.
and not the people that drink it.
Yes.
So now it has been twisted to show that it is the people and not the alcohol.
Exactly.
And that is why we're losing a lot of marriages down to this.
Exactly.
Because I wonder, every evening you're driving around and you're finding all the streets with all these vehicles. Fellas can't go home. And they're drinking.
Even their wives sometimes.
And their wives too, they're drinking. And they're just messing up each other. They believe, because the focus is not on the drink.
Yes.
The focus is on the person.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll handle this. And in the end, you're messing yourself up.
Yeah.
And do you have any statistics on the status of Uganda when it comes to alcohol?
You know what I like about this situation is that statistics will not make a difference in any way. Although we need this to push for policy and the like.
Yes.
The problem is evident everywhere you go. And I'll ask this question. Is there anybody who doesn't know somebody with a problem, an alcohol problem? And I'm specifically saying alcohol. Everybody knows someone. If it's not in your house, it is your friend, it is your workmate, it is your neighbor, but everybody knows someone. That is that bad.
And there's some people, I'd like to ask this before we take a break.
Yes.
People say, I cannot function until I got a drink.
The
What's
deception, the deception,
Deception.
the deception, because alcohol changes the mental structure. Yes? You don't have to think when you have a drink.
Alrighty, we've had that, and really, this is so powerful. We have Bill and Rachel, and they're enjoying bliss in their marriage because they took alcohol out of the picture. They didn't blame anybody. They took responsibility, put alcohol out of the picture, and they started enjoying their marriage. We'll be right back after this.
Unlocking marital bliss. Unlocking marital bliss.
Welcome back to Unlocking Marital Bliss with Miss Iris Rod, and I have Bill and Rachel in the house. They took alcohol out of their marriage, and guess what? They're having a bliss. They're having a fantastic marriage, an awesome marriage. They're having bliss. And you know what was bringing pain and toiling and trouble in their marriage? It was alcohol. Alcohol never does you good. It don't matter. Some of you think, well, I can take a little bit of it, but Bill has told us he's been there, done it. There's nothing good about it. Nothing good about it. It's an intoxicant, okay? It's a disaster. It's a poison. And but when it comes to money, so it takes folly of a different kind for you to go ahead and grab the glass after you've hired Bill and Rachel. It takes folly of a different kind. And I don't want you to be part of it. If you're there, please get your marriage back on tracks. I want to say this. We had actually one of our viewers, you sent in a message. You called in and you actually said you have a daughter. This one, I'll address it to you, Bill. Our viewer said she has a daughter, Colden from Arua. She has a daughter who graduated, wonderful girl. She's 22. She got married, and she, as I speak, she has lost her marriage and went back to her mother's house. You hear me? She can't find a job. And you know the cause? Alcohol. She's 22.
Yeah.
What can you speak to this mother out there who is in tears, doesn't know what to do
Yes.
for this girl?
Yes, this is, when I say it so casually that it is becoming a usual or common occurrence, it sounds heartless. People be like, Bill, because you came out, you think. No, but this is what is happening. And I'll say, before I even give possible solutions to that, I'll even tell you why. Because today we find that alcohol industry is actually targeting women and children. Because get
Can you
them
say
young.
that again?
They are targeting women and children. Go to the internet and Google it. You'll see around the world, there is
The
big
alcohol industry
Yes.
is targeting women
And children. Yes.
In other words, targeting your
Catch them
family.
young, you have a customer for life. So they don't care about who
Hey,
is going
don't
to lose
rush.
it around.
Come on, Bill. I'm going to slow you down.
Yes,
You got to go back a bit. Rewind it. Catch them.
young, and you have a customer for life.
Catch them young, and you have a customer for life.
Yes.
That's the philosophy of the alcohol industry.
Yeah, and all this is, just Google it.
Documented.
And yes, so because I use evidence-based interventions to
Okay.
talk about whatever I'm talking about. Yes, so that's their target. We have had incidences where we've seen campusers, those ones, they say now they're above age, but they're still young enough. But then young children, there are times when you see these sachets, finger-sized sachets,
Yes.
being given out as promotions to kids who are walking from school. Anyhow, that is deep. People who watch TV don't usually see these things. Now, what is
come on.
happening to this young lady?
Yeah.
It is clear that she's got an addiction problem,
Yeah.
and she'll need to get assessed and get into treatment. The problem with treatment is it comes with a price, because they have to feed you, they have to counsel you, they have to take you through therapy, they have got to give you a very good nutritional diet, because you have to rejuvenate both body and spirit, so it comes with a price. But then if nothing is done, this person is just going to waste away and probably end up permanently insane or dead if they do not get into recovery and start the journey. So they need to understand there are many ways in which this young lady can be helped. She'll need to maybe go for first an assessment to a mental health professional who will guide them on what to do next. But better still, if it is affordable, get the person into a treatment center, a rehabilitation center.
Okay.
If you can't if you don't have the money, try Butabika. Butabika does help so many people, and they have all the professionals, and people do get well from there. So they should give it a try. Otherwise, there is nothing I can say or do from this distance apart from directing her where to go. Even come to me and we start.
And you've mentioned about the rehab centers.
yes.
There's some horror stories about verbal abuse, physical abuse
Yes.
in the rehab centers.
Yes.
If somebody contacted you, would you recommend some rehabs
Yes, I do
that
work.
are sound enough, like you said, Butabika?
Yes, I am a recovery coach at Safe Places Uganda Treatment Center. Definitely, I would recommend that, because I am there, I'm on ground, I know what's happening, I am answerable.
Now, Bill,
Yes.
a lot of people have been trying to get in touch with me to get to you.
Yes.
I want you to give your number right now, okay? Because a lot need help. There's
Yes.
some husbands there, they don't even know what to say. They need help. Can you first say your number out?
Yeah, I can be reached on 0782 031 223. This is in Uganda, plus 256 782 031 223.
Okay, now you've had Bill, he's given you this number. It's not for games, okay? If you want to play games, please don't call his number. He's a married man, and he's sound, and he's having bliss, okay? So only those that really need help, you'll be able to reach out, because he said his marriage got saved and yours can get saved too. So please don't take that number for granted. Now, Bill, there are others who say that the drinking is occasional. They call themselves occasional drinkers. They have this under control. What do you say to such fellows?
What would I say? They do not know. And I've said this before. I use this phrase a lot. You cannot instruct a drowning person on how to stay afloat. They are in denial, and unless something happens to change their thinking, because dire circumstances do not even deter them. Look at all the things that were happening in my life. I was losing money. I was losing a home. I was not taking care of my child.
But you felt you were in
control. So an intervention had to come in, and I think this is the part where she'll come in and show how the process started and how it led to my recovery.
Hey, Rachel,
Yeah.
how did the process, before you even come in and tell us how the process started, some people here asking you some questions. How did this affect your finances? Did you increase?
Really?
Did you have constant money fights? Did she hide the money? Was he stealing to drink? Was she fueling the habit so she doesn't lose him? Was he walking and squandering the entire money he made?
Yes, he was squandering all the money. He drank the bar empty.
Oh my God. I remember in our first
Yes.
session that we had together, you mentioned and you actually said he started a bar and you felt like, okay, I can help him because he doesn't have any other thing to do. Perhaps he will control everything. You also believe
Yes.
that was the way out. And then you gave him the capital, and then he would use all the money, and then he stocks, and then he drinks the stock.
Yes.
So now at least our viewers are getting to know exactly what happened. You gave him the stock and then he drank the stock.
Yeah.
And there was no way out. And there's another question for you. Now this is so sweet. How did it affect your sex lives? Did he ever even desire making love?
He wasn't drunk.
Oh Lord, I gotta say something to our viewers. Let me tell you, please run away from alcohol.
Yes.
If you're married, run away from alcohol. I mean, you've asked this question, well, how did this affect your sex lives? Did you ever have moments him making love? And look, he was drunk. He didn't know what was going on. He was drunk. And all the time he's drunk, he can do nothing.
Yeah, but let me also add to that. I've been approached by someone who was disgruntled with the fact that I'm saying all these bad things about alcohol, when I said, no, I'm saying all the good things it has to offer. That's the best it can offer. But the argument was this, but how come it enhances my sex life? And I told him that's the biggest lie, because be off alcohol for 3 months and you see how it is the difference.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because the mind believes, you see, this is psychological, that
Yes.
I need the alcohol for me to function this way. But unless a doctor prescribes it, as a dose, 2 times 3, everything that you need the alcohol or any other psychoactive substance
It's a
for,
delusion.
everything you need it for, the brain can actually perform that function without it. I mean, it happens to me. I know what happiness is without it. But before, I thought you cannot be happy without it.
alcohol.
And I try to tell this to my friends. I say, you don't have to stop drinking because you're an alcoholic. No, you don't have to be an alcoholic to drink.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an alcoholic to stop.
You
need
just
to
mess
stop
with alcohol.
to improve every other area of your life. If I want to be happy and I don't have to drink, I have saved money. I can use that money for something else. Someone told me that, but what will the people who benefit from it, who sell booze, who make booze, I'm like, then they will make the money elsewhere. Do you want to tell me that only the people making alcohol and selling it around making money. No, even the companies, they will divert and go to something else and make something more productive and better for us. We want to develop our country.
Yes.
That's the way to go.
I love this, and I got questions, and we got to run through them so quick. Look at this, Rachel.
Yes.
Many times you felt like leaving. Did you ever have plan B? Did you ever have plan B?
Yes, I had plan B.
Yeah.
I had a lot of plan B.
Plan B, plan C, plan D.
Yeah, I had a lot of plan Bs.
But then you always came back.
Yeah, I would reach a time and I'm like, actually, I can live by myself. I can actually do this on my own. I have a job, I have a child, I can actually handle it.
Did you ever go to parties with him? And knowing that they're going to serve alcohol within those 4 years that were deadly?
No, he actually never used to like going with me in his, in his movements. He always went alone or with his friend.
Okay.
Yeah. He would go with his friends. Then I think the friends notice he has gone too far. So they leave him alone and then
Oh,
he
God.
continues the journey alone. So he was always alone or with his friends.
Did he ever become physically abusive?
No, not really actually. I
So
think
to
I
him,
didn't.
he kind of...
I also didn't. I wasn't that, you know, those women where a husband comes in all drunk
And they
you
scream.
and then you stand by the door. You, what have you been doing? Honestly, they will beat you up. So I wasn't that
You're
kind.
literally provoking
Yes, you're
everything
provoking
in
the
them.
fight. Yes. So all I would do, I would welcome him to the house. If he has blacked out, you cover him wherever he is because I couldn't lift him.
Oh,
If he's
dear.
in the chair, when he's half tipsy a little, you give him what to eat. So I made sure I don't. I
You
don't fire
really
up
loved
the-
your husband. I want you to
I
take a
did.
minute and first look into that camera. Talk to that woman who thinks, I've had it. I want you to talk to that woman as you look in that camera.
Yes.
She thinks, I've had it. And she wants to give up.
I want to really share how I used to do it for
Yes.
this person to also figure out, because you cannot do exactly what I did
That's true.
because you are someone, you are totally a different person. But what I would do, I would always ask myself, when he's not drunk, what kind of man is he?
Okay.
And when he's drunk, what kind of man is he?
Okay.
And who is the real man? Is he the drunk man or the sober man? That is the sober man.
Yeah.
So I would start asking myself, he is a very loving husband. He is a very, very perfect dad to his children. Perfect, 100%. He is very intelligent.
Yeah.
He would turn something that people looked at and they're like, no, this one I can't handle. And he would turn it 180 and it will be something brand new. Now like in Kabale where he wanted to start a hotel,
Yes.
people had written off that house. And this man, with his bare hands, turned that place. And people cannot believe it was the house they used to see.
Yeah.
So I used to look at this man. I'm like, this is an intelligent man.
Yes.
When
that's
he's
good
sober,
in
he
him.
is perfect. He is really good. But there's this thing that he takes that really switches him off. So I always used to magnify the good things,
Okay.
though the bad thing, that one bad thing that he would do would cover every good thing
That he has ever done.
that he has ever done. But when in my own senses, I would sit back on my bed and I ask myself, he's actually a good man. So really, why should I run away? So yeah, that was,
Anyway, I really, that's something that is so profound. At least you've been able to take your stand and other people are actually learning from you. Now there's something that I will bring out now that you're married, you're enjoying, Bill is sober, He's the intelligent guy. He's the smart guy, the perfect dad to your babies. You're having bliss, right?
Yes, we are.
And you really say anybody that is going to enjoy their marriage, keep alcohol out of your marriage.
Out of your marriage.
You don't even support occasional drinkers.
Don't.
Don't mess with fire.
Don't. It is fire.
And you try to put it here and you stay sober, no, it's going to burn you.
It's going to burn you, yes.
Now, this, I'll bring it out to Bill. You're a sober man. God has helped you. You're doing so good. And you have plans of reaching out. I can see your t-shirt. It's got, what's that?
Choose intoxication, lose direction too. Literally, you choose intoxication, you lose direction in every way. For those who are on social media, if you check my page, Bill Bekunda, Twitter at Bill Bekunda, Facebook is what I use most, Bill Bekunda on Facebook. I try to explain to people in short terms some of my story, and I also try to explain what alcohol actually does and other drugs, but majorly alcohol because alcohol affected me. But what am I trying to do? I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to reach out to young people. I'm trying to prevent the use of substances in schools most especially, but even in homes. So I want to help parents understand how to manage their children and to divert the possibility. There are 3 things I teach, which are bonding, boundaries, and monitoring. Many parents today only have the bonding. Oh, my child is my best friend at 14.
Okay.
At 16, they are beginning to change. Oh, he wants his privacy. At 20, I don't know what happened to this one. And then they are taken to rehab.
That is
because they missed out on the monitoring. They say, no, he's too old, he's mature enough. That is the best way to lose someone. So I want the message to sink in. Since underage drinking is illegal, and we have the law, whether it is, we are still using the 1967 Nguli Act, which is not really appropriate, but it's still a law. For a child who is under 18, do not be the one to give them. We have these good uncles and aunties who be like, no, let's steal a little bit of wine to the child. You do not know what you are starting. And research shows that children who are allowed freedom to drink, as teenagers especially, they are most likely to develop a problem when they grow up, because you have opened up for them. You have allowed them to drink, and therefore if someone comes and tells you, but your son was drunk the other day, you'll say, no, I know how my son drinks. And you will not believe that. That's just a simple explanation. So for instance, I have these t-shirts. Underage drinking kills dreams and talents too.
Not for me.
Not for me. This is the Not For Me series. I don't know what the other series is coming out. I do have, still even for young people, you booze, you lose, but young and old, we still have, you booze, you lose.
You booze, you lose.
Yes. I carried the intoxication ones. You have some.
And I got this too. And what does it say?
Illicit drug use gets you wasted and jail time, because illicit drugs are illegal. Now, illicit drugs.
I love this. The logo behind.
Yes.
So beautiful. You did some good work with this. Illicit drug use gets you wasted and jail time.
Yes, and you see, alcohol is illegal. So it becomes an illicit drug for a young person.
And then I got another one still from you.
Yes.
What does it say? Read it.
That one says, pornography robs you of the right way and rubs you the wrong way. Literally. Now the reason people will wonder, how is pornography related to this? When we are dealing with behavioral health, you don't just touch one thing and leave everything else. Yes?
Okay.
People, this is information. So we use these t-shirts to reach out. I have already taken about 85 have been given out to St. Mary's College Kisubi, because a group of my classmates, OBs, decided, let us put money together and give these people this thing. And when we reached there, the demand was high. And what were children saying? That we want to wear these messages so that we can't be lured, so that they can speak for us.
Yes. Now, this is holiday time. There are a lot of kids out there. How can somebody access these t-shirts? And at least you start, hey kids, you don't need the alcohol. We got a man who almost lost his family because of alcohol. So where can they get this? Can they contact you?
Yeah, they can contact me on the number. Let me just say it again,
Say it again,
for those
please.
who might have missed it. +256 782 031223. Not only for the t-shirts, if you need to know the skills in which you can help your child or identify, let me
Yes.
give you one,
Yes.
just one. If I'm going to talk to my child, to my son,
Yes.
I am going to call them and tell them to sit right next to me,
Yes.
such that if they have been smoking or around smokers, I can
Able.
smell it. If they have
Okay.
been drinking, I can look you in the eyes. If you're evasive, if your eyes are turning red, if they are yellowing, I can know what is happening and I will seek help.
Thank you so much.
That's just one
That's
of the ways.
one way.
But there are many other ways, and it is you, the parent, who starts it. I have never yet met a parent who drinks heavily or lightly and says, I would like my child to grow up drinking.
That is so true.
I haven't had it.
That is so true.
Maybe if you're out there and you're saying that, please let me know.
Look at this. This is coming. It says, I totally agree with Bill's views. I don't call myself an alcoholic yet because I can stay without drinking for months. But if I do drink, it's heavy. 3 to 7 days non-stop. Sometimes I become too forgetful that I misplace things and can't remember where I put them after recovery. Completely no or faint recollection of who and what I chatted with or about. Sometimes the aftermath of a binge is worse than malaria. I like to stop, but the temptation is high if I go out. Gerald Hewolf, that's how he calls himself. Now he says he's not an alcoholic yet. That's the real thing. What do you say in
Yeah, well,
5 seconds?
alcoholism is characterized by loss of control. If I cannot control myself when I start, yes, but we would say that the levels and the kinds of alcoholism are different. So he's just one kind of alcoholic, not because we also have functional alcoholics who drink day in and day out, but they are entirely functional and they believe they're actually more sharp when they're drinking. So he's just a different. Then there are the dysfunctional ones who just lose everything, and then there are
And then
binge.
this one says he
He's a
actually
binge.
forgets where he put stuff.
Yeah.
No recollection whatsoever.
Clear indication of alcoholism, but to be lighter on him, there are ways in which you can stop it. Please look for a mentor, for a substance use professional, and find out exactly. They'll do an assessment
You know,
and
Bill,
show you
that
what to
stuff
do.
is not common in Uganda. When you begin saying, look for a substance abuse professional,
Yeah.
I mean, where you going
Okay,
to find them?
look for me.
Look
I
for
will
Bill
direct you
Bakunda.
where to go.
Okay, you
Yes.
look for Bill
Yes.
Bakunda.
Okay.
Now, I got something more for you. I'm humbled. This is for you, Rachel. The lady, Rachel, genuinely loved the husband. Amidst mockery and insults from friends, family, and villagers. But I just love the confidence she has in God. Everything she says rotates around God. So you're going to say that it was God who helped you?
It was God.
I love the confidence. It was God.
It was God.
Okay. Now look. Yesterday that married couple from Kabare changed my life. Now, this is what it's saying actually. This married couple from Kabale changed my life. You hear that?
Amen.
That's good.
You're the married couple from Kabale, changed my life, and I think whoever watches this program, there must be a change.
Amen.
God bless you.
This is
May
beautiful.
the change come to your home.
Then we heard somebody here, taking is not bad, but the way you take matters a lot.
That is why.
Therefore, you gotta drink responsibly. How do you drink responsibly,
You
Mr.
see,
Bill?
that is how people are twisting it to be a moral problem. There is somebody, if I drink now, everything changes. There is absolute, when you lose control, there is no responsibility there because it takes control. Now, because some people are able to drink and not go beyond that, they find it difficult to understand. But if that person could kindly Google alcoholism, dependence, and addiction, they would probably be able to understand
That they're actually addicts.
what is happening. Yeah.
They just
And the
don't even
person
know
who
it.
defends it most usually has not got control over it. Not that they have reached a point of dysfunction yet, but it is gradual and it eventually gets there. So it's one of the indicators of someone's state or status.
And then this one says, drunkards always think they are smart and they end up becoming useless.
Yes.
This one just,
They're not smart.
That's the truth. They think they are smart
and they end up
because
becoming useless. That's what
because
this,
it cuts their reasoning and their judgment. It disables it. The more you drink, the more it disables the reasoning and the judgment. And therefore you think you're smart because everything that comes out of you don't check it.
oh God.
Okay, I don't want it to sound that bad, but so,
Everything that comes out of you
Yes.
is never checked and you think you're smart.
exactly.
You shut everybody down. Hey,
And your
listen.
inhibitions are all,
Now this is just so beautiful. I've enjoyed having you on this
you.
show. I've enjoyed being with you. And Rachel, man, you are a blessing. If you had never stood, we would never have Bekunda
Yeah.
on this show.
Thank you.
But because you stood, and hey, when your birthday is around the corner, hey Bill, I want you to say a word to her on Unlocking Marital Bliss. Please just show her, show off.
I don't know how they show it. We say that Bachiga are not the most romantic, but you're my wife. I married you. I loved you.
Yes.
I will always love you.
Yes.
Thank you for bearing with me and for listening to God.
Amen.
But let's do this.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
We're on national TV.
Yeah, national TV, but this is Unlocking Marital Bliss. I mean, you can have fun. We
Yes.
got to enjoy. And I'm so
Yes,
happy
yes.
that you guys are having fun and you are enjoying
Yes.
and you're moving on, no looking back. Now, this is just so wonderful. Thank you for coming in. Your birthday's around the corner. You're going to enjoy.
Yeah,
Marital
amen.
Bliss say they've covered it.
Amen.
And it's covered. You're going to one of the top hotels in Kampala.
Thank you.
Dinner totally taken care of by
Thank you.
Unlocking Marital Bliss. We
Thank
thank
you.
God that you chose to be part of us and you have shared your story and many lives have been changed. Yes, it is alcohol out of marriage and bliss into marriage. That's how it works. Bill has proved that to us. Rachel is a testimony. She has said where alcohol is, bliss doesn't stay in marriage. Can you be smart enough and stop it today, right now? Stop it today, right now. Thank you for tuning in. You can follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, anything, but mostly Facebook, and your life will not remain the same. See you next time.
Unlocking Marital Bliss.